everybody. Welcome to my 5 haunting questions this week. And this week, I have the honour of speaking with C.L Thomas. She is absolutely gorgeous. She's an author, a painter. She's a photographer. She does great work, and she has done paranormal investigating in her past. But I'll let her tell you all about her, and let's invite her in. Hey, CL.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So, look, the first question that I always ask is tell people about you and where they can find your content, all that sort of thing. But tell them what you're about. What is it that you do, and what draws you into this world of paranormal and creativity?
Wow, that's a loaded, packed question.
It is. They give you an opportunity to say lots of things.
I know. Where should I start? I am an author. I do a lot of historical fiction, and I have written a memoir just recently, Dancing with Demons, and it's about a personal experience that I've had about 10 years ago. And it is with a negative entity, but it was also an awakening to the spirit side. So I've been seeing spirits since I was about 3 or 4 years old. And I kind of forgot about it throughout my high school years. I was trying to get into med school and then was concerned about, the medical school stuff. When I moved to Nashville to go to school, I ended up living in a house that was very, very haunted. The property was very haunted, and I had a lot of experiences, and it just opened up the whole mediumship door. And so for the last 10 years, I've been trying to figure out, what do I do with this? Why am I seeing ghosts and spirits? And normal people aren't like this, right? So I've gotten into doing spirit art, and I work with the spiritualist community for that. I've been training underneath them. And what else do I do? I am a painter and I'm a photographer. I'm actually a photojournalist, and I do a lot of videographer as well, or videography.
Cool. So in regard to the paranormal, it sounds like you've obviously had a lot of experiences.
I have, yes.
But there's something, and maybe in regard to your book, to be honest, the Dancing with Demons, was there something that pulled you into it and thought, what the?
So it's really kind of difficult for me to talk about. It's been 10 years that I've had to sit down and collect myself and do a lot of spiritual healing and physical healing from different things throughout my life to actually sit down and write this book. But it was a negative haunting. I was scratched. I've gotten physically ill from it. Multiple people had died on the property attributed to the activity that was going on. It was just a lot of things. It escalated very quickly. We were in a house for less than a year, and we had a ton of events occur. And it got so bad that we actually had to move out. We actually just packed up in the middle of the night and left.
Wow.
So the book is about that experience, but it also goes into people who are fearful of negative attachments and things like that. The book goes into how to heal yourself from that. And in a way, it kind of looks at the negative entities and negative attachments in a different light. Because like we just talked about, on TV, you have a lot of paranormal investigators and things. They're always getting possessed, and what happens, they're throwing stuff, they're beating people up. Well, maybe not that, but they're spitting up nails. You have beds levitating, all this sort of thing, right? The Hollywood classic demons.
Yep.
And I just don't feel like it happens that way. I feel like it's more of, they play more with your vices. So if you have a tendency to be like toward addiction, they're going to play with that to bring you down, kind of thing. It's more of a silent attack than what we see on television. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And would you say that, I'll be honest, I'm not a believer in demons, but I am a believer in entities that are not so nice. Like, nasty. There's nasty people in life, so henceforth it doesn't mean that they're going to die and be a nice person all of a sudden. They'll probably still be nasty. So I kind of think that that's probably what it is, some very nasty entity that just decides, screw you, I had a bad life, you're going to have a bad life, you're living where I died or whatever, and screw you that way. Like, that's my thing, but that's because I don't believe in demons. But then, who knows? I might meet one day and go, oh, okay, so you are real. I just don't think that there's a little demon lurking in the corner waiting to jump out and you know, like in Hollywood with the fangs and the horns and, you know, I don't know. Have you ever seen one of these nasty entities? Like, what did they,
No.
like, did you see them?
No, I have not. You know, and it's interesting because in the book too, we've all, as paranormal investigators, met that one person who you try to help and they continually have the drama, and it seems like thing after thing after thing happens with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, for instance, what am I trying to say here? There was a case I had in Southern California, and this lady she lives on a haunted pecan orchard.
Oh.
And no, it's an almond orchard. I'm sorry, almond orchard. And you know, she's been there it's been in her family for several generations, and she attributes the haunting for killing 2 husbands, 3 of her children. When I got there, she was on her 3rd husband. He was on hospice. And so, you know, she's convinced that this place was haunted by demons and that sort of thing. When we investigated, it is haunted, absolutely. But and the outside of it had almost like an elemental on the property, which is a total different thing. But what I've noticed with the case is that she was the center of that attention. And it seemed like every time I talk to her, she's a victim, you know, she's drawing that energy to her. And I feel like that's what happens. And that's what Dancing with Demons is really about. It was about, I was drawing this stuff to myself with my own with my own demons. Let's put it that way, with my own demons.
And that makes perfect sense from a psychological point of view as well. Like,
right. So
perfect sense. You draw it.
To be clear, I'm not talking about physical demons in that sense. This is more of like my own energy and the stuff I was creating. And I think as investigators, all of the paranormal energy out there, it's energy, right? You're going to reap what you sow. If you're looking for demons, guess what? You're going to find demons.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a haunting in like a doll, that doll is going to be haunted. You know, look at Robert the doll. Look at all of these different dolls, right? So I think that's the point I was trying to make with Dancing with Demons.
Yeah. It sounds like an interesting read. Just for everybody out there, like, I'll be getting a copy because I want to read it. So, so I'll be doing that. But in regard to that sort of thing, I've seen that happen too, where you'll have somebody somewhere who says, oh, I can feel the darkness. I can feel it. It's coming over me. And you'll be in the same room with them and you'll think, it feels perfectly great to me. And there will be that person that needs the attention drawn to them. So if they go into a location or you're at a location with them, it's all happening to them. I can feel it. I'm overcome. Oh, it's attacking me. And I think you need help. It's not true. So you do have those people, which is sad because obviously they do need some assistance. But because I think that if that's going on in a place, other people, I would think other people would at least feel a darkness to the room or something. I can't imagine how only one, I mean, I could be wrong, but I can't imagine how just one person will all of a sudden be taken over. But I think that's where they're allowing or maybe opening themselves up, and you can create that in a way psychologically. But I certainly do, like I said, I do believe in the darker side of things, that there can be people out there, spirits. You know, I don't know much about elementals, but I kind of hope elementals are real, because then fairies are real. And I do love fairies.
It's the same thing almost, you know, they're kind of the same creature. But I wanted to add too, your point of, like, you hear this a lot from mediums where they go in and they're always possessed and this and that. That is totally bogus. I'm just going to put that flat out there, just from the medium side of things. That's not how that works. Even if you're opening yourself up, it's like if you go into a situation where somebody's yelling at you and you walk away, you have that choice to react.
Mm-hmm.
You have that choice to be upset or whatever. It's the same thing when you walk into a room as a medium and you have the spirits in the room. They don't have the power to possess you like that. You have the choice to let them in. So to me, if somebody's always getting possessed like that in a haunted place and they're saying this because they're opening themselves up to this, I just think that's so bogus. But
Yeah,
experience.
I'm agreeable with you on that. I have a hard time with that. But the other question I do like to, you're so interesting. The other question I have for you is in regard, and this might be interesting. I do ask everybody, do you believe in aliens, or what do you think about UFOs and stuff like that? Because although it's not spirits and things like that, it's not paranormal, it's still odd. And I just wondered what your take is on anything from, another planet, or have you ever seen a UFO? I just wonder.
I have not. I have never seen a UFO, and I live in Vegas, and I've spent a lot of time out in the desert. I've never seen anything. The only thing I've seen is we have multiple government installations, is what they call
Yeah,
them, all over
yeah,
Nevada. And what those are like secret military bases for, those giant drones that they're sending overseas and things like
yeah.
that. Now we'll see those a lot in Vegas, and they get mistaken as
I was just going to say, because they
military
are very
personnel.
different to your normal little drone. So,
Mhm.
so people could see those. Oh, well, that's a bit of a bummer that you've never been abducted or anything.
I do believe that there's life out there, though. I do.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah, I
don't.
do. I mean,
Yeah.
there has to be. Like, you can't, and most every intelligent person would say the same thing. We cannot possibly be the only form of life in the
Right.
universe, humongous universe. So whether or not they do come to visit us, whether or not everything is true that we hear in regard to, hey, they've got this tech and that tech and all that sort of thing. I don't know about that, but I certainly do believe in something, and I hope it's true, but I just kind of think, well, what are they waiting for? Can't they come down and intervene now? But probably not. We're probably just a little ant farm to them. We're just an experiment, maybe.
Maybe.
Or maybe they think, oh my God, they're crazy. We're not going. We'll just wait till they blow themselves up, and we'll go in and take the planet. Oh
That's what I
golly.
think. If they did show up, I mean, what would happen? All of the US nations, China would be blaming us, and then we would be blaming Russia, and
Oh,
you
it'd
know what I
be
mean?
Yeah, if it'd be a mess. They'd have to literally be
Mhm.
kind of like you see it in the movies where the big spaceships hover over the city, and loudspeakers, or we have come, take us to your leader, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
now I do ask a bit of a silly question sometimes. Normally I ask the boys a stupid question about their underwear, but I've asked my girlfriends, this is a silly question, right? And so when I get home of an evening, if I've been out all day, the first thing I do is kick off my shoes. That is the best thing, the best feeling for me ever. And then the second thing is off with the bra. Right? So, but as a female, what's the best thing for you when you get home from a long day of work? Anything similar, or what do you do?
Hmm. Gosh, I throw off my shoes, but I have a golden retriever. So the
Oh,
first thing I do is, take her out and kind of mess around with the pets for a little bit.
oh, well, then you're better than me. I just come home and throw everything off and go, and die in my chair. Oh, well, it's good to know at least you kick off your shoes and you do play with your animals.
Yeah.
So do I. So do I. Now, obviously, you're coming along to the event in Virginia City in July, because had no idea you were so close, or kind of close. It's a couple of hours drive, but still it's a drive. You're coming along to my event, to the Magical History Weekend. So that'll be awesome. So thank you for coming along to that. And in the meantime, what's coming up for you? What kind of things can people watching this, where can we find you to listen? Because you do podcasting sometimes too, don't you?
I do.
So yeah, so where can we listen to that? Where can we get your books? How can we find you, and what's coming up for you, apart from the July event?
First of all, thank you for inviting me to the July event. I look forward to coming to meet you and hanging out with everybody. I love Virginia City, and I've had a lot of paranormal experiences there, so it's going to be great to get back. You can find me at my website, clthomas.org. Just about everything I have going on is on there. I am building a new art gallery site on there where you can purchase giclées and that sort of thing. Also, you can follow I have 2 podcasts now. One's a radio show that's broadcasted out of New Orleans. It's called The Gateway. It's more about spiritualism and mediumship. And in Small Town Tales podcast, that's more about people's personal experiences in the paranormal. And both of those can be found at clthomas.org.
All right. So I'll put the link to that. And there's links to your books in your webpage as well, isn't there?
Yes,
I think
there is.
Yeah. Amazon, you can find them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the easiest way to purchase those would be Amazon. You can purchase them from my website as well, but if you live outside of the country, it's harder for me to ship them.
Yeah. Well, I'll put the link to that in the description, and I really do look forward to meeting you in July. It's going to be awesome. I'm hoping it all goes well and everybody has a great time. And you've just answered my 5 haunting questions. How easy was that? Not too scary at all. So everybody, please go and check out CL's webpage and her content and what she does. And for those of you who are coming to Virginia City in July, you'll get to meet CL and me. And thank you, CL. Thank you so much. So it's goodbye from me and goodbye from CL. See you later. Bye.